This episode of The Rest is Football is powered by our new presenting partners, Fuse Energy. We're thrilled to welcome them to the team, especially outside the regular transfer window.
A new signing providing power and energy. That sounds like a bit of me back in the day, Gaz.
And reliable too, not one of those fair weather players who go missing in December.
Fuse will be powering The Rest is Football right through the season. They're one of the UK's fastest growing energy suppliers, building solar farms and helping homes make smarter choices. Power that performs throughout the season.
Fuse, keep everything running, lights on, meters smart, cars charged, a full squad you can count on.
And when you sign up for their fixed rates, your energy prices hold their shape, even as the nights turn colder and the title race heats up.
The season is long, but with Fuse, the energy never drops. For more information about energy that hits the top corner every time, head to fuseenergy.com/football. And if you fancy getting involved, sign up with the code FOOTBALL for the chance to get a shout out on the pod and throw your own question at us next time. Hello and welcome to The Rest is Football with Alan Shearer, Micah Richards and me, Gary Lineker. It's been a busy week, midweek I should say, of Premier League football. We saw extraordinary victory for Manchester City just on Tuesday night. We're doing this just after the games have finished on Wednesday. Arsenal had a victory against Brentford. Chelsea dropped points. Liverpool dropped more points. Let's start not with the overall title race because obviously City and Arsenal have both won. But defeats for Chelsea was quite a big deal. But Arsenal, I thought Brentford pushed and tried and huffed and puffed, but they're tough to break down, Arsenal, despite being 1 or 2 injuries at the back.
Yeah, before we go into Arsenal, I just want to say to Alan, how does it feel to have your record broken? I know you guys spoke about it, but Haaland in 111 games. So he's officially the top dog, isn't he? If he stays in the Premier League, he's going to beat your record easily.
Well, he's a top dog in 2025, absolutely, yeah. Oh, he's awesome. He's awesome, man. He's brilliant, isn't he?
It's an amazing achievement, actually.
Yeah.
And it's quite enjoyable to see as well, in all honesty, isn't it, Micah? Really.
It's brilliant. Anywho, Arsenal
wasn't the most scintillating performance, but
it wasn't. But I thought the link up between Ben White and Madueke down that side was very good. Madueke looks like a new player. And only come from Chelsea, a lot of question marks. Maybe because everyone expected him to get a striker in and they went for him early doors. But he's really playing well. Now Saka can actually have a rest, knowing that Madueke can do the business. I thought Ben White played really well in the overlap. Great link up for the goal for Marino. Another injury, though, wasn't there? Mascara. Yeah. Another injury. Timber comes on to centre half.
Declan Rice as well hobbled off.
Yeah, Declan Rice, but that reports that's not too bad.
Not much, no.
No, it is not much. But they're just getting it done. Efficient. And that's all I need to do. Raya pulled off one of the saves of the season. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Yes, incredible.
Off the bar, but you know when in slow-mo, it doesn't look that great. But you play in real speed, real time. The reactions from that were sensational. Yeah. But yeah, Arsenal just getting it done. But I thought Brentford put up a really good fight, actually.
Yeah, me too. I thought they'd give a good account of themselves, Brentford. Not many people thought they would go there and do anything. And yeah, I think Arsenal were. I mean, it certainly wasn't comfortable for Arsenal. It was a hard-earned 3 points for them. He made 1 or 2 changes, Arteta. But they are the best team and they are the most consistent and they deserve to be at the top where they are and they're the team that are going to take some beating because even when they didn't play that well tonight, it was just about getting a victory. And we know you can't play well every game. Sometimes you just got to get the result. And that was the case for Arsenal tonight.
It's theirs to lose.
Yeah, a quick word on Keith Andrews, though.
Done well, eh?
I think he's done a really, really good job.
From being a pundit to then going a set-piece coach and then being head coach to do what he's done this season, losing the players he's lost. How many times have said, look at Wolves, they lose some big players, Nori and Cunha, and they're not the same. You know, Brentford have lost Visser. You know what I mean? Tony, okay, was before that, but Shada comes in and does really well. You know, I just feel like the manager needs a lot of credit for. I think we all had Brentford maybe struggling this season, but they're competing. They're competing every single week. They might not win, but I think he gets his tactics spot on as well in terms of what he wants to do. I think when he's playing Ouattara and Shada up front, the way they wanted to press Arsenal as well and try and nullify that threat when they was playing out from the back, I just think tactically he's very, very good. And I feel like he's doing his business quietly without him getting recognition. You know how hard it is to manage in the Premier League so young and little experience. So, yeah, he's doing really well at the moment.
I think he's done really well after it was a bit of a slow start, wasn't it? A couple of games. I think he's settled in really well and doing a good job. And I thought they pushed Arsenal all the way tonight.
Yeah, they play fairly directly, as a lot more teams are tending to do at the moment. Obviously, very good on throw-ins, corners, free kicks, etc. Very well organised. But when you consider the fact, and you've said it, they lost Mbeumo, they lost Visser, and they lost Thomas Frank, and Thomas's head coach as well. Hence the fact that Keith Andrews got the job, and they had a tough start, and you thought, but I think they've been in every game pretty much that they've played. Tough to play against, and even in this game, it certainly wasn't an easy ride for Arsenal, not at all.
No, it wasn't. And don't forget, Brentford left two of the best players out today. Thiago, who's been playing really well, scoring loads of goals. Yeah, and Damsgaard, who creates everything for Brentford as well. So being able to go to Arsenal and rotate players and still stay in the game, hats off to them.
Even though it's a 2-0 defeat on paper, you think,
yeah, but it's the eye test. It's the eye test, isn't it? We always say that.
If you've not seen the game, look at the XG. That's the time XG I think works probably. Although it probably wouldn't back me up, because you definitely don't need XG when you watch a football match. You can see it for yourself. Chelsea, we said, would they be consistent enough to keep going? Maresca made a couple of changes. Obviously, I think Fofana was injured because he wasn't on the bench either. So you lose one central defender. And then Chalobah, who's been playing really well with Fofana, was moved to right back. He brought in Tosin and Baliashil, and it was a funny thing to do, you'd have thought, and it didn't really work out, did it? I mean, firstly, Micah, I know Leeds is obviously one of your teams. I forgot about that for a second. Go on, do your normal when Leeds get a win. Go on.
Marching on together. We want to see you win. Da, 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 da. We are so proud. We're shouting out loud, we love you, Leeds. Leeds. And it was excellent. And it was really good against Manchester City as well, wasn't there?
Why weren't you singing that at the weekend when City beat them?
Well, because of last, Alan.
He was singing a City song at the weekend, wasn't he?
City! Blue moon, you saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. I've got them all, don't you worry, Alan.
Why do you think Netflix was so keen to get us on for the World Cup?
It's all about the vocals. No, on a serious note, Leeds were outstanding. And Daniel Farke, I know it's weird saying that, but he's a tactician in terms of he will change depending on what the game needs from the start. He doesn't always react to think, okay, Chelsea are going to play this way. This is what we're going to do. We're going to put Nemecha up front with Calvert-Lewin. We're going to press them really high and use the energy from the crowd. Ellen Road's always been one of those stadiums, similar to St. James's, where the noise is electric, and they just didn't give him a minute's peace on the ball. Yes, when he made that many changes, Chelsea really missed Reece James, because against Arsenal, he was the best player on the pitch. But again, it's that question mark, and Alan's totally right. I always say Chelsea can beat anyone on their day, but it's a consistency over the season, why Al rightly said that he don't think they're strong enough.
We've given Maresca a lot of credit. Should we criticise him for what he did tonight or not? Or is it understandable?
I think, well, what happened at the weekend when you're down to 10 men, you put that much effort in, I guess a few days later. But it's different. It's difficult when you're changing that many in the back four. You know, I always feel as if there are the system or positions that should be playing on a regular basis as much as possible. It has to be the back four. And when you're making that many changes in it, and obviously that's on him tonight in terms of he decided to do that, and it went against them because they were terrible at the back.
Can I just ask you guys, not back in your day, not that sort of thing, but you know, a lot of teams made a lot of changes, haven't they, in recent weeks? Back when you guys were playing, did you guys just play all the way through no matter what? I know you guys didn't have many subs. You had one sub you've mentioned before. But
one at the very start of my career, and then I think it went to 2 and maybe 3 by the end of it. But yeah.
But it's amazing, isn't it? All these squads and everyone's rotating everything. And you're just thinking, they've had some good results. And then they change things. It's like, you know, the Premier League is really intense if managers are having to do that. Yes, you've got to use your squad, but all the managers changing players throughout.
Yeah, I think there are fundamental differences between now and back then. The squads are way bigger, so therefore, you know, and a lot of quality within that squad. Whereas, you know, the squad when I probably played in the mid-80s would have been 15, 16 players probably, and you'd rely on, I mean, go back to the Everton team that I played in. I could name the 11 that we started with every game, and then there were 2 or 3 players, 4 players that would come in if there were injuries and stuff. So, but you basically played the same team all the time. They didn't have, obviously, the medical science that they have now. They can check whether players might be close to an injury and stuff. There was none of that. You just got on with it. And if you got injured, and you're out and someone else would come in. You very rarely got substituted because there weren't many substitutes to have. So, you know, the game has moved on massively. And so you understand, you know, I'm not saying that they're wrong now not to make changes and rotate because, you know, they've got medical backup and they're so much football. They're playing, you know, way more games. The big teams I'm talking about here in Europe and stuff like that. You know, if you played in the European Cup, which unfortunately when I was at Everton we were banned from doing because of what happened at with Heysel. So we were banned from Europe, so we didn't have that extra experience of having to play European games. But even if you did in the European Cup back then, you win 3-4 games and you're pretty much in the final. So it has changed a lot. So you have to accept that, you know, you can't go, well, in our day, you know, we were really macho and we did all. It's complete bollocks, obviously. But there's just much more of a squad thing. Although there are certain players that do play more than others. The players that hardly ever left. Now.
The best players. The
very best. And they don't seem to break. You know, you take the greatest 2 players of the last 20 years, Messi, Ronaldo, they play pretty much every single match. Now, they don't necessarily work back as much as perhaps some of the other players do, but you allow that because of their brilliance. Take Mo Salah over the last few years. Until the last couple of weeks, he's always played, pretty much nearly always play 90 minutes and he'd cope. But you could also say that, well, he doesn't necessarily always, you know, trap back all the time. So it has changed, but I don't think it's changed for the worse. We've seen a lot of very good footballers and you need opportunities. And if you want to be a more regular play, when you get that opportunity, you have to take your chance.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with any of that. And I guess you are guaranteed a lot more games now because of the format of European competitions. You're guaranteed the games rather than you could get knocked out after 1 or 2. Or, as Gaz said, if you play 4 or 5 games and you're perhaps in the final. And international games and more and all of those. So for the top players, there's more football than ever. I sort of understand it and get it. And also, I mean, from a very, very early age now, you are told And if you're told enough, you eventually think and believe it's true. You're told you can't really play 3 games a week, aren't you?
That's what I was alluding to a little bit, Alex, because every time I played at the 3rd game in a week, I would break down, you know?
Emotionally or... Sorry, Micah.
My body, I don't know if it was subconsciously or whatever it was, but I don't know about you guys, but I always needed 2 days to rest. If I had to train, say we played Saturday and then we was off Sunday, I couldn't train Monday. And if I trained Monday, I would break down if there was a midweek. So it's just intriguing to see how teams are using their players because of that. And how much it's changed since you guys' days.
Is that because you went out Saturday night and didn't get in till Monday morning?
To be honest, that was probably part of it.
I think on that note, we'll take a little breather, and when we come back, we'll see if Micah can handle playing the second half.
This episode is brought to you by Barclays.
That's right, because this year they're celebrating 25 years of supporting football. And let me tell you, they truly have made a difference.
And don't forget, they ended up being the biggest ever commercial investors in UK women's sport when they started sponsoring the Barclays Women's Super League.
But it's not all about the big leagues, is it, lads? There's no football without grassroots football.
Well, that's right. I mean, we wouldn't have had the careers that we've had, guys. Not one of us, would they, without grassroots football. That's where it all started, the love of the game.
I went back to Ayleston Park Football Club, which is where I started to play, and all the lads were playing and the girls were playing all across everywhere, and it was so beautiful to see all these young people. One little lad came up to me, he must have been about 9 or 10, and he came over to me, he went, "My granddad used to play with you." Now that really is grassroots stuff. It's why Barclays has invested millions into grassroots programs and community initiatives to give opportunities in football to those who need it most. Search Barclays Football to find out more. Welcome back to the Rest is Football with Micah, Allen and me, Gary. There were a couple of other games we're going to talk about. I mean, there's a cracker between Brighton and Villa. I think we should probably mention Liverpool again and Sunderland again. I mean, they were close to winning it.
Brilliant.
I mean, we thought, they won their game at the weekend and then they went again, but I thought Sunderland were really... I mean, I think what summed up the game in many ways for Sunderland's perspective is that it looked like they were clinging on at the end, clinging on. Then they got, it was an own goal. Yep. Good work from Wirtz, but he clearly sliced it and it wouldn't have gone in. But they're hanging on. I'm thinking Liverpool are going to score it and they're going to score. And then the keeper, Roof, gets it and didn't he hit that volley kick. And you're thinking, what are you doing? Don't just give it them back. Hold on to it for a bit. And then you look up and you go, oh my God, what a ball. And then obviously Chiesa brilliantly cleared it off the line. But yeah, quite exciting stuff, but it's just not happening for Liverpool, is it?
So before you go and talk about Liverpool, is that a half volley or is that a volley from Roof's?
It was a volley. It didn't hit the ground.
Didn't touch the ground at all.
Oh, okay, I'm just asking. Okay, I'm just asking. Sorry to interrupt. You go, sir.
I'll tell you what, if they'd have scored from it, the roof would have come off.
It was an unbelievable pass, I tell you. Sunderland were absolutely outstanding. They were brilliant from the first minute. I just thought the way they were organised, how tough they are, and they all know the system. They all know what they're doing. And Sunderland were absolutely outstanding. Perhaps we'll maybe go away from Anfield disappointed, thinking we should have taken all 3 points there. And it was only a fluke goal from Wirtz. He did slice it. Liverpool, my God, they were terrible. I mean, after the weekend, you're thinking, because we said, didn't it? Or I said that it didn't really matter about performance. It was just about getting the result at the weekend, and hopefully you get a little bit of belief and a little bit of confidence. They were worse than they were at the weekend. They were worse than they were the previous week. They were terrible. They were so flat. Isak never had a kick, was awful. Van Dijk and Konate were terrible again, all over the place. I mean, you can go right throughout the team with Liverpool, but it's not looking good at Liverpool, I tell you. It's not looking good for Liverpool.
When you look at someone like Virgil van Dijk, who we've seen be brilliant for years, and obviously he was massively at fault for the goal. It was, first he gave it away and then he didn't really press. And then They came off his backside and went in the corner. When things are not going for you, they don't go for you. Although he did do a brilliant header near the end where he managed to get it out to his credit.
They just haven't got any ideas.
Just shows you how important.
They just look as if they've ran out of ideas. They just don't. I'm looking at players this season. I'm thinking that you're a shadow of yourself. What you were showing us last season, you were outstanding. Whereas I'm looking at these players now thinking, goodness me, it really, really is incredible, the drop-off and from Liverpool. And you can hear the moans and groans in the crowd. And obviously their confidence is at zero level and the belief and everything else. And as I said, it's not one specific area. That's all over the pitch.
How did Isak, he did the analysis on Match of the Day, didn't you, Alan, about finding his runs and was any of that happen? Nothing at all.
Nothing at all, Micah. He offered nothing. They offered him nothing. He wasn't even in the game. In fact, they took him off with 5 minutes to go and brought Chiesa on. He didn't do anything.
Well, Chiesa did. He made that incredible clearance off the line, didn't he? Yeah. At the end. But, yeah, it just shows you, I think, how important. I mean, mostly they're the same players. They've lost, obviously, Trent's gone. And they've got some new blood in there, and a lot they've not really settled in. And confidence is such a big part of football, but it is odd to see. And I think perhaps one thing I was talking about earlier, I was thinking, that signing where they missed out Mark Gay, just at and obviously it was so late they didn't have a chance to get someone else, and then Konate and even Virgil van Dijk, who's been so brilliant for so many years, have really struggled this season, and they haven't really got much backup in that position because obviously the Gay thing fell through. So, but it's still a bit baffling when you look at the squad they've got, that they're struggling so much.
You know what? I think they're really missing Trent, in terms of his creativity.
I don't know whether you saw, sorry to interrupt you, Micah, but Real Madrid won at Bilbao, and
I saw that.
Kylian Mbappe scored a couple of goals. One of them was like a wonder goal, his first one. Trent Alexander-Arnold, and that's hard to replace because there's hardly any players in world football that can do that.
I thought when they had Frimpong, although he didn't play right back for Leverkusen, he was playing wing back. I thought he could fill that void just because of he had the energy. At the moment, it's not worked out for him. But you forget, when Liverpool were playing, yes, Trent used to get exposed defensively, but they sort of worked that out a little bit where he'd go into midfield and he'd stop the counter-attacks, and then he was on the ball. And I just think at the moment, there's no patterns. Everything looks a little bit too slow when I watch Liverpool now. It's like they're having to think about what they're going to do next when normally it comes natural to them. And that might just because of the new players that they've introduced and players not playing at the same level as last season. It's hard to put your finger on it because we're having a conversation every week, aren't we? What's going on with Liverpool? And I can't put my finger on it. It's just loads of little things added up together that they're just not the same force this season.
Just a bit left field. You mentioned Mark Gay. Did you see his cross in for the goal for that he scored Palace tonight? For Munoz, the right
No,
side.
I didn't see it.
Great ball in, far post, diving header was Munoz coming in. It was a great goal.
I was very pleased. He's in my fantasy team.
It was a great result for Palace and a brilliant ball in.
It was. It certainly was. And it was a great result for Villa as well. 2 down at Brighton. Villa are now in 3rd place. Remember the start they had? They didn't score in the first few games that they played. I think they've won, 8 in the last 9?
What a run they're on.
Amazing run of form. Ollie Watkins has started scoring again.
Bonkers.
So lots of reasons to be cheerful at Villa Park at the moment.
Villa.
There he goes. What's their song?
I did play for them, you know what I mean?
Well, I know you did.
I didn't play very well for them.
The Villa fans will tell you something different. The only team you haven't sang about is the team you support, Arsenal.
Come on. You don't do it.
No, I'm not taking the bait. But we always knew Villa was going to turn it around, didn't we? Come on. We knew that. They was going through a bit of a blip.
Yeah, but they're above Chelsea now. Yeah. Not far behind Manchester City. He's a good manager, Emery. He's on it, and he's like such a, he lives and breathes it. You can tell, can't you? But he also, he's very tactically savvy.
Clever manager, clever guy, very, very intelligent, yeah. And he obviously has been around the block and knows what he's doing. Brilliant manager, yeah.
You know what's mad? Just looking at the table, I've got the table of... I remember when United could have went, like, I think it was second or third, and now they're down in ninth.
If they win tomorrow night, though, they'll jump up to fourth or fifth, depending on goal. Well, they'll be fifth. If they win, because they'll have the same points as Chelsea, but unless they win by a lot of goals.
Yeah, unless they score by 9, yeah.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, it is so tight once you get past probably the top 3 now. There's then a 3-point gap to Chelsea. Palace are now back up to 5th. It's jumping around. Sunderland are 6th. They've got 23 points, Sunderland, after 14 games. I would dare to suggest they only probably need 7 or 8 more points to stay up. I mean, it used to be, didn't it, 40 points. Then it went down to around maybe 36. I think early 30s now, you've got a real chance of staying up. I mean, West Ham they've got a game in hand, West Ham, but they've got 11 points. Burnley, who lost again, Tony went all the way up to watch that game against Crystal Palace. Tony, my business partner.
That's a great effort, by the way, isn't it?
I mean, that's what he does. He is a proper
Brilliant.
fan, and he was incredibly depressed with his message into our group chat, wasn't he, afterwards? But poor producer John, who's said we're not allowed to mention Wolves. I'm sorry, John. 2 points after 14 games. I mean, I know the manager's gone, and Rob Edwards has come in. It's a bit early for him, but they can't score a goal.
That can't be far off a record, is it? I'm just thinking, what was it?
Sheffield United was really bad, wasn't it?
Was it Derby that hold the record, though? Is it for the
Derby? I think hold the record because last season it was very close to being beaten, but it wasn't quite. 2
points, my goodness me.
They're currently on the same as Sheffield United were, 2 points after 14 games. I mean, Jesus, that's a lot. They've got a lot, incredible work to do to try and stay up.
They're not staying up. It's pretty simple.
No, I can't see it. Very, very difficult. Okay, let's call it a day there. So, goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.